Hello, namaste and welcome in the series of cybersecurity. This side is Meena and today I will discuss about how can hackers use DNS to steal your money. Every day we are using internet, we are accessing different websites, okay, but computer understand the language of binary and which we are not using, okay. We are using the normal words, letters, okay, to identify anything, okay. And on internet or on a network, every computer has some unique IP addresses. On the public network, they need some ID which is unique, and it's very hard for us to remember those IPs. And nowadays there is IPv6 which is very long, and it's really very difficult to remember for particular website. For example, on web browser we are saying google.com, okay. When say google.com, it is having a IP addresses where that websites or the situated on some web server, okay, and that web server is having a IP address, okay. So for us, remembering the name is very easy as compared to remember the IP address. So who is then changing those one? We are not on the browser, we are not entering the IP addresses, we are entering the username, which are entering the URL or the addresses of the website. And here is the role of DNS comes, domain name system. So it is converting whatever the URL we are entering on the our web browser, it will just convert into the IP address and will send us, or we tell tell us, yes, this is the IP address of that particular location, destination which we are looking for, okay. So today I will discuss about how these DNS hackers can use to steal your money. Clear? In case of Windows, for example, say we are assigned a IP address to our machine, okay, and this IP address, and here is the DNS server name, okay, which is for example 8.8.8. Clear? On our web browser, say we are say luminusindia.com. When we write, we understand it easily, but whatever the IP address we don't know. And first of all, the device which we are using, say Windows 10 I'm using on my laptop, and on Windows 10 it will check into the cache DNS whether I have already resolved that URL to or to IP address. Clear? So here is first of all it will check into the cache, and how just you can see it, whatever the entries in the cache. On the command prompt, type that command ipconfig space / display DNS. So it will show you whatever the entry exists in the cache. Clear? And here if it will find, yes, this exists in cache, so whatever the IP address for it, and it will send a request on particular server, okay. If that not exist, so our PC will send a request to resolve the IP address of the URL we entered on our web browser. For example, this is our web browser, okay. It can be your Chrome, Firefox, or other web browser, and then it will send that request to particular DNS server which we have mentioned here. And then if that web server is having record of it, then it will forward the information. If it is not having the record of that particular DNS query which we are asking, then it will ask to the higher level DNS server, okay. and after getting the reply it will forward us, yes, this is the IP address which you are asking. Clear? And a entry it will store in the cache, and then we will able to forward our request to the particular server. Clear? And now just in this situation where the role of hackers come and how they can steal your money when you are making any transaction. Let's see how the hackers can use that information. For example, you are you are making some transaction or a bank. You open your web browser, and over there, for example, say XYZ bank. You entered bank address and you want to make some transaction. Clear? And this information is not in your cache, DNS cache. So you need to send the request to the DNS server. Okay. In between, when your request will go to the legitimate DNS server, for example, this is the DNS server which is legitimate. Okay. And here is the hacker who have placed a DNS server which will reply you before the reply will come from the legitimate server, and this entry will tell you it can be the complete website which is, for example, XYZ bank. It can be the complete website situated on the web server of the hacker, or he might be able to see whatever the query you will send first. A one of the copy will of that traffic will he will receive, and then whatever the bank you have chosen, then this particular reply request will go to the bank's website. Clear? So either he can situate a separate web server which is having a complete copy of the website of the bank, or he can work as a man in middle attack. Whatever the information you will see, he will you will send, he will see, or if he want to make some modification, he can also do. Clear? So whatever the DNS query you were received here from the legitimate server, before that he just send the DNS IP address of his server. Okay, and when you will make any transaction, a web page will open on your browser, on your PC, and when you will enter your credential, when you will enter the detail of your financial card, then all these information he can steal. Okay, and he can also steal the money from your account. In this way, what the hacker did, he just poisoned the cache entries on your system. Okay, so hackers are really very smart. They can perform this kind of attack as well. And whatever the security for this one, definitely we must use the legitimate DNS server, and in another session I will discuss about how we can secure our DNS servers. Okay, and follow me on the Cybersecurity Prism so that you will get the notification for the next interesting informative session, and share that video with your friends, with the group members, so that they will be able to understand what kind of DNS attack hackers can perform to steal your money. Okay, and in the next session I will discuss about how can IPS and IDS protect your network from cyber attack. Namaste, see you in the next session.